Hi everyone, my name's Scott. Welcome to Planes, Trains, Everything, and welcome to Interlaken in Switzerland. Interlaken is an interestingly enough town, but it's primarily a tourist base for this part of Switzerland. From here you can do some nice walks, you can go for cruises on the lakes, you can go up mountains on cable cars, you can do rack and pinion railways, you can even get to the Jungfraujoch, which is Europe's highest railway station, all from Interlaken. It makes an ideal base. Now where you find an important tourist centre, you tend to find that prices are a little higher than normal. And I'm wondering, how expensive is Interlaken, considering that it's an expensive town in one of the world's most expensive countries, Switzerland? Are prices here eye-wateringly expensive? We're going to find out. I'm actually going to do something a little different. I'm actually going to do a walking tour of the town centre. I'm going to look at some of the sights, some of the attractions, but also look at some of the prices. And I want you guys to come along with me as well. First things first, there's a couple of things in that direction I'd like to see, and then we'll do our walk. Confirming the fact that this is a tourist centre and not a centre of tourism itself, there aren't a lot of attractions in Interlaken. I went on to TripAdvisor and I looked at the top 10. One of them was Ho Chi Minh Park, and this is it. An expanse of green. One of the top 10 attractions in Interlaken. I was last here in 2015, and to be honest, I was here in the middle of summer. And this expanse of green was a hive of activity. There were people flying kites, I think there was paragliding going on, there was music, there was a whole lot. But it is March, it is definitely off season, and it's like the Mary Celeste of green places. There's not much happening here at all. In fact, the Harderbahn, which is a cable railway or a rack railway, I can't remember which, it goes up to the mountain behind me there, that hasn't opened for another month yet. It is still definitely off season. And you can tell, because the hotel I'm staying at has about 12-13 rooms. It's only me and one other person staying there. It's very, very quiet here. But it's hard to believe because it's beautiful today. 12 degrees Celsius, not a cloud in the sky, and there's loads of snow in the mountains. It's beautiful here. So I went on to TripAdvisor to see what the top 10 attractions were here in Interlaken. You know you're in trouble when one of the top 10 attractions is the tourist office. Yeah, okay, so there's 9 left. 5 of them are actually outside of town. Reasons to leave Interlaken and go somewhere else, leaving you 4 attractions in the town. And 2 of them are just across the road here. So just up here we have 2 of the 4 attractions in the town centre. One's a monastery and Interlaken Castle, and the other one is a reformed castle church dating from the 12th century. Let's have a little look around here. This is lovely. Okay, this is the castle. This might have been part of the former monastery. Unfortunately, the sun is in the wrong place. But this is beautiful, isn't it? I'm not going to go into the church because this video is about money, not religion, and sometimes I feel as if I go into far too many churches, so I'm going to fight the temptation. But I will have a look around. Ooh, I like that clock tower. I wonder how old the wood is here. Does that give any clues? No. Well, there's something you don't see on YouTube every day. The oldest apple tree in Switzerland dating from 1870. Okie dokie, the next attraction is a statue. A statue of someone I've never heard of, but it's an attraction all the same. Let's see if we can find it. When I was looking for a place to stay in Interlaken, I did look at the Hotel Nord because it's in a brilliant location. Unfortunately, I decided to stay at the Hotel Tel because that's where I was 10 years ago, and that was my excuse, so I'm sticking to it. £4,980 Swiss francs for a music box. I'm sure it's a very nice music box, but wow. A starting price of £32 to £34 for a Swiss Army knife. Sounds like a good idea, except there is absolutely no way you'd get those through security at Geneva Airport. There are some really beautiful buildings in Interlaken, such as this one. The statue I'm looking for is of Yash Kopra, and it's just over in that direction because I've just spotted it. And here's the man himself, Yash. Not sure if he's actually from Interlaken, but he is an ambassador of the town. He was a Bollywood cinematographer and he used to film a lot of scenes here in this part of Interlaken. Sorry, I've just spotted someone doing one of these mad hang glider things. And what's the last thing you expect to find here in downtown Interlaken? A British phone box, naturally. Oh, Blair, they've got a Hooters here. If only you were here, we could go in for lunch. Okay, we're now heading out of the old part of town into the more commercial and new part of the town. I've got a ready reckoner here, so I can actually work out some prices straight away. Time to get the camera in action. Let's go for a walk. So of course the problem I'm going to have doing this is I don't have the gift of the gab. Some people can do these and just yak away, I can't. But we'll see how it goes. I've made some notes anyway to keep me happy. Right, this is the heading into the older part of the commercial area. I'm also on the lookout for a restaurant that might just happen to sell schnitzel. I would imagine that if you come here you need to try schnitzel. You're in Switzerland after all, but so far I haven't found anywhere that does it. I'm just checking my map to see where this goes. See across there there's Dunkin' Donuts, now called Dunkin'. You see that? I learned something the other day, only 6 years after the event, but apparently they dropped the donuts part because they want to be seen more of a coffee shop than a donut shop. See the things you learn on this. But that, like I said, it was 6 years ago, so... Right, let me have a look at my notes. I've lost my notes already. Wow, off to a good start here. Very nice looking place. I will refrain from going in, but... this is the Co-op. I've actually got the Co-op supermarket on my list. Might go in there for a little look. See what we can find. Not very busy, is it? Mind you, it is still off season. It is the first week in March. I don't think things pick up until maybe first week in April. That's when the railways, some of the scenic railways around here start operating. I was going to look at some of those souvenirs, but this guy's actually transferring bits of wood from that truck up there, and I don't want to be clobbered on the head by a bit. Oh, that's a lovely looking building. See it? I wasn't actually referring to that building there, I was actually referring to that one there. That is nice. Let's go and have a closer look. wonder how busy this is actually like in the middle of summer. I was here in 2023. I don't remember it being totally manic, but I'm pretty sure it would be. Yeah, very nice building. And it's a restaurant as well. Let's see if they do schnitzel. Do they do schnitzel? Chicken, pasta, salads, roasties, which Switzerland is famous for. Club sandwiches. No. Seriously. Hamburgers. That's disappointing. Nope. No schnitzel. Okay. Just in regards to the attractions here in Interlaken, remember I mentioned those 10, or the top 10 in TripAdvisor. One of them was visiting the tourist office so they could send you somewhere else. And we've already seen 3 of the others. The only other attraction in the city centre, or the town centre, is a brewery. And I am going to actually fight the temptation of going there, you know, for research and information purposes. I won't go to a brewery, guys. I could. No, I won't, no. Okay, we're in the sun. I'm going to try and get into a more shady part of town here. Hey, there's a McDonald's. You know you're in the centre of town when you see a McDonald's. There you go. Have not seen a Burger King yet, or a Pizza Hut, or a Domino's. Right, let's get across this road without being run over. No, I'm not going into McDonald's, honestly, I'm not, no. When I was on the train from Bern to Interlaken, when you're in Geneva, it's a French-speaking city. When you get to Bern, it becomes German. And I'm wondering, where does everything kind of change? I'll just wait for this lorry to go past. Yeah, so where do things change? I mean, one part of Switzerland speaks French, the next part speaks German. Does it suddenly just change across this road as a divider, or is it more of a gradual thing? I would imagine that if you live here in Bern or in Interlaken, you can speak German, but a little bit of French at least. If you're in Geneva, you could probably speak French and a little bit of German, and there's a kind of an overlap where people can speak both. I find that kind of stuff actually fascinating when you've got more than one language in a country. No shortage of woolly hats, but today you're not going to need one. It is absolutely roasting today. Oh, good Crocs. Ah, man. Who invented Crocs, really? Claire's? Is that Claire's Accessories? Is that the same place? It might be. Tax-free watches. Yes. Okay, let's have a little look here. My Ready Reckoner will not actually go up this high. Seiko for 1,300, 1,400. Yeah, okay. I guess if you're going to buy a Swiss-made watch, this is the place to do it, isn't it? There's a bookshop. And there's books in it, okay. Leather goods. So I saw a big souvenir shop across the road there. I was wondering, should I go and have a look? I think I should. Let's do this. No, this is not the souvenir shop, not this one. This up here. Edelweiss shop. Wow. Now, funnily enough, I was here about a year ago, and the exchange rate was roughly 1 Swiss franc to £1 sterling. Now it's 1 Swiss franc to 88 pence. So the pound has actually gotten stronger against the Swiss franc. So it makes it just a little bit cheaper. Right, how much are they selling this tat for? There you go. A nail clipper, $8.90. but everyone needs a Jungfraujoch cuckoo clock shaped fridge magnet for 6 francs 90. That's pure class. A bottle opener, 6 francs 90. Oh, I thought this was a yellow version of Flixbus, 9.90. Oh, look, it moves. Look, okay, that is pure class. Oops. Okay. Not that I've got a thing about drinking to excess, you understand. 5.90. Yeah. How about a pair of socks with dogs on them? Now we're talking. Look at that. That's what you need. A pair of socks of dogs. And 7 francs 90. Okay, let's continue this walk. In fact, where was Co-op? Co-op was back there. I'm going to go into the Co-op and just look at some of the prices in Co-op. If this area looks a little bit quiet, apart from the fact that it's the first week in March, this is not the throbbing heart of Interlaken. The throbbing heart is actually down by Interlaken West Station, and that's where we're going to end up. I came off the train there and it was like tourist city. There was like restaurants and stuff everywhere, and a big department store and a shopping centre and the whole lot. See, they're not even open for lunch. However, we could look at the menu in case they do schnitzel for dinner. Okay, advertisers, hot stone. Yeah, see that? Rosties. You can get that in Lidl actually, Rosties. Cheese fondue, there's 2 pages of cheese fondues. Main dishes, lamb, salmon goulash, beef goulash. Ooh, that's actually good. 34 francs for beef goulash with homemade mashed potatoes. Where's my ready reckoner when I need it? 34 works out to be around about £30. Ah, they've got Schweinsschnitzel, look, with pommes frites and seasonal vegetables. 28. Right, okay, now we're talking. 28. That's about £25 for schnitzel. I think it needs to get done at least once. So this place is here right opposite McDonald's. I'll keep that one in mind. Right, where was that Co-op? Aha, the Co-op store. Yes, this idea of doing the walking tour is a new one for me. Like I said, I don't have the gift of the gab, so I can't keep the conversation going. That's why I'm talking so much nonsense. But the thing is, it's an interesting thing. I've never tried it, and I'm always looking at trying new ideas. And if this works, I might try it somewhere else. Right, here we are in the Co-op. Let's see what we can find. I do like dates. Not the ones you get on Tinder, but these kind of ones. Where are these from? Israeli dates. 6 francs 95. That's about the same price as Lidl. Raspberries. I bet you they don't get the raspberries from Scotland, that's for sure. Spain. Okay. 3 francs 95. I hate to say this, but every time you go to a European supermarket, the quality of the vegetables and fruit is so much better than what you get in the UK, that's for sure. Right, I had that last night. Raugenbrau. It's a local beer made in the Berner Oberland. And that's 1 franc 80. That guy charged me 6.50, I think. That's where he makes his profits. Yeah. Feldschlossen. It's another local one. All for research and information purposes, you understand, you know. I'm actually looking at my retirement, not that I'm going into retirement, but I have to start getting things in plan for retirement. And one of the questions will be, when I have this phone call later, is my lifestyle and overall health. And one of the things I need to have ready, one of the questions I need to have ready is, how many units of alcohol do you drink per week? Now you probably think I'm a bit of a heavy drinker, but I'm not really. I usually have one when I arrive in a new place, kind of a celebration that I've arrived. But during the week I really do, unless I'm catching out with my son Blair, I might have one as well. Maybe one after working at St Mirren. This actually sounds a lot worse than it really is, doesn't it? Rachelet. Rachelet, I wonder what that is. Rachelet. Yeah, okay. Always like wandering around a supermarket because you see so many interesting things. The problem is, unless you have checked in luggage, I can't buy any of this kind of stuff because it would be found at security at the airport and they would nab it from me. Oh, right, goat. I'm assuming that's goat just based on the picture here. Jambon, I can't read that. Rochrinken, that's 5.30. Tell you what, the meats are not overly cheap, are they? If I suddenly go quiet, it's because a staff member has walked past and I don't want him to think I'm a loony because I'm talking to myself. Looking for a wine that I recognise. I'm not a wine drinker, so it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. Anything that stands out? No, not really. But, oh well. There's a Johannesburg, there's a South African wine there. That's a local one. You can tell by the Bernese coat of arms on it. Now we've got some good quality beers here. Lef, 260 for a small bottle. Yeah. I was looking to see if they had something like Peroni, so I can kind of have a benchmark to go on, but they don't seem to do Peroni. Nah, no Peroni. They do Erdinger though. That's something. Okay. I think look at the number of chocolates I've got here. By the way, loads of chocolates. That's a local chocolate. 2 francs 95. Right, I think you should get out of here. Oh, here we go. Toblerone. Here's my benchmark. Toblerone, which is no longer made in Switzerland, by the way. And these are made in Slovakia, I think. 13.90. 13.90, according to my ready reckoner. Round up to 14. That's £12 roughly. £12 for Toblerone. Ouch. Yeah, let's get out of here. Right, we'll continue walking down this road again because I want to get down to Interlaken West Railway Station. That's the newer part of town and we're actually not that far away from it, so down here a bit, do a left. Oh yeah, okay, I know where we are, I don't need a map. Ah, here we go. A Chinese restaurant. Yeah, okay. They're going to cost you the best part of 20 quid for a Chinese meal. That's interesting. Yeah, 1941, 22 francs. So how are you enjoying the walking tour so far? All right. You know what would make this even better? If it was a live walking tour. You could talk to me and ask me questions while I'm doing this. This would make it easier. I actually watch one which comes onto Instagram every now and again, and it goes on for about an hour, and it's actually quite interesting, and you can actually ask questions as this person's walking around. Great stuff. Modern technology, but I'm only just barely getting to grips with the GoPro here. And I tell you what, it took 3 attempts just to get the GoPro to be attached to my backpack strap. Sometimes you see something, you have to do a double take. I just walked past that. I just saw the black and white with a flash of red, and I thought, that can't be St. Mirren, can it? No. Yep. It says there that's the best shop in town for souvenirs. Really? In that case, we have to go over and have a look. Supposing you were the second best shop in town, would you advertise it? Would you say, hey, we're nearly the best shop in town for... No, you probably wouldn't. Interesting selection of souvenirs. Yeah. Ah, cowbells. I remember I got Blair one of these when he was young. Boy, did I cop a blasting from Sue. Why did you give him a cowbell for? Well, you know, they do a lot of souvenirs in there. I really don't want to go into too many shops if I can avoid it, because of the fact I've got a GoPro, and it does have a viewfinder, so people can actually see, if they look, that I've got a live GoPro on my chest. Here's this classy bus one again, yeah, without a price on it. I reckon Flixbus should do these. They're missing out on a merch idea. Yeah, okay. I am going to be going up there later on. That's where the river is, but there's no shops, and this is all about prices, so let's try and focus. Right, Swiss Army knife, 59 francs. That's off my chart, but it's going to be around about the 30, 34, 35 pounds. Again, you would never get a blade like that through security. In theory, you should. I think it's, well, maybe not that one, maybe that one. Because in theory, from my training, you're allowed to bring in or allowed to accept a blade which is 6 centimeters or less. And I had a Swiss Army knife, something like that one. It was a kind of a present from Blair when he was a kid, you know. And something like that was nabbed, and I'm sure that's less than 6 centimeters. One day I'm going to buy one of these, and I'm going to put the airport to the test. At one point I remember they used to take nail clippers from you. Can you imagine that? A pair of nail clippers, and you're running into the cockpit, you know, take me to Cuba. I've got a pair of nail clippers here. Ooh. Right. The Hotel Mercure. I'm pretty sure the Mercure is not part of Accor. You know, I just have this feeling. That man doing a food delivery there. Oh, here we go. What's here? Prawn curry. Yeah. I was watching a very old episode of Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares. And he went into this restaurant and he cracked up, as he does, but he cracked up when he was looking at the menu. And he said, what kind of a place needs to have photographs of their food on their menu? Yeah, got a point. If you're an international restaurant, and you have Chinese and Japanese and all around the world, it might come in handy. But here in downtown Interlaken, I think you've got either Germans, or you've got the French-speaking people, you've got English-speaking people. Most menus seem to be in those 3 languages, and English is the international language of travel, so I think most can probably bluff their way through. Galaxy Buds 189. I do not use buds in my ear because they always pop out. We used to have these Bluetooth speakers, and I used to have them when I went walking and running, and they would pop out after about 15 minutes and I'd lose them. Now this is what I saw. This is the big shopping centre. Rundft. It's a tap bar. Yes, I'm stopping here. I'm slowing down outside the bar. I'm not really doing much to fight this impression that people have of me. That's a very nice scene, that. I think that's very pretty. So I'm going to take a picture of this just for you guys. That was the idea. Whenever I came across something very picturesque, I would use my phone to film it for you and superimpose it over this actual video. Don't know if it's actually working as well as it should. Right, and speaking of which, I'm just going to make sure I'm not blowing up my GoPro because it's been going for about half an hour. No, it seems to be happy enough. Migros. Do you want to go into dinner? That's another food place. Interlaken Plaza. Oh, it's Interlaken Pizza. Yeah, I thought it was a shopping centre. It's Interlaken Pizza, right. Let's go in the shopping centre here, see what we can find. We'll go for a very quick look in here as well. Let's just a very quick look. A single bottle of Coca-Cola, £1.55. Sorry. If you're a drinker of Red Bull, £1.90. They don't do iron brew here. I have noticed that. I mean, a container of pasta for lunch if you wanted it. I mean, £1.95. That's actually not too bad. Actually, not too bad at all. Oh, macarons. I saw these on sale recently at an airport. They were slightly bigger than this, but they were something like €2.90 each. Needless to say, I didn't buy any. Needless to say, the shop was actually empty. Salmon. Norwegian salmon, okay. Yeah. Right, so they've got Alaskan salmon, Norwegian salmon. Scottish salmon is not good enough for them. Okay. Right, back to the fruit and vegetables again. Let's have a look at this. White grapes, $1.90. Wow, that is actually quite cheap compared with what you find in Germany. Maybe it depends on the time of year as well. Whoa! Oh, the size of this. What is this? Fennel? Oh, I forget what these things are called. Weirdest looking vegetables. Right, cheese. Did you say cheese? Yeah, let's do this cheese. Oh, and here we are in the cheese area. Gruyere. I tell you what, cheese is expensive over here. You'd think it would be cheap because it's made here. I mean, that is not much cheese. And that is £5.30. That's a little bit on the pricey side. $5.30 is almost £5. Emmental, good Swiss cheese here. Half of it's made of holes. £5. Goat's milk cheese. Now that is actually $3.95. I'm actually finding that some things in Switzerland are actually not as expensive as I thought it was going to be. Raclette. Twin pack of raclette, $8.75. I mean, $8.75 round up to £9. That's £7 for that. That's actually not too bad for a good quality cheese. Donuts. 105. Yeah, so overall prices are not as expensive. Well, some prices are not as expensive as I expected. I thought things were going to be through the roof here in Switzerland, but they're not actually. Food anyway. Souvenirs are expensive, but then it's tourists who are buying the souvenirs. Migros restaurant. I wonder if they do schnitzel. What do you reckon? I'm tempted to go back for a schnitzel tonight to that place. It's the only place I've found so far that does schnitzel. Let's have a look here. Nope. No schnitzel. Well, that was actually a bit of an eye-opener. I expected the prices there to be absolutely extortionate, and they weren't. It depends on what you're buying and whether you live here or whether you're a tourist. If you're a tourist and you're eating at restaurants, you're going to be paying a premium, believe me. If you are going to be buying souvenirs, you'll pay a premium for these souvenirs as well. Never mind how tacky they are, you pay a premium price. But if you live like a local, the food that I saw in Denner and in Lidl is actually the same as what you'd find in the UK, if not sometimes even cheaper. It's not until you actually live here for a while would you know whether it's actually expensive or not. How much is a pair of jeans? How much is a haircut? Until you live here, you wouldn't know. But I passed a garage back there, and they were selling petrol £1.65 a litre. That works out to be around about £1.42 per litre. That's cheaper than what it is in the UK. So yeah, if you live like a local here, it's actually not that bad. I'm going to go for a walk along the river here now, because this is very pretty. I do remember this from 10 years ago. Come along with me, because the video's not over yet. Here's a little story for you. When I was here in 2015, I walked along here and I stumbled across a bar area which had been closed since the night before. I think it was a Sunday I was here. So of course there were still things lying around from Saturday night because people had been drinking. And there was a selection of beer glasses just sitting there. I do like unusual souvenirs, and I thought, should I? So I acquired one, and I had that for maybe 7 or 8 years until the shelf where I had all these foreign beer glasses sitting just collapsed one day, just like, and the whole thing turned into a mountain of broken glass. And I thought, if I'm ever here, I'm going to try and get another glass. I can't even remember what beer company it was, but they're just sitting there, and I thought, well, yeah. Yeah, that's a really ugly looking building, isn't it? I often wonder when you apply for planning permission, hey, I'd like to build this really eyesore building right in the centre of town by this picturesque river here. Can you give me planning permission for it? Yeah, not a problem, yeah, there you go. Just next to that eyesore building, we've got this railway line. Well, a former railway branch line anyway. It's a shame you can't actually walk onto that because of the number of slats of wood missing, but I wonder if it's still structurally sound. In the UK they would probably try and preserve that and turn it into a cycle track of some sort. I'm just walking along the river now to Unterseen Altstadt, the old town of Unterseen. I went there in 2015, can't remember anything about it. This is very pleasant, very nice. One of the first things you notice about Unterseen is the fact that there are no tourists here. You're only 10 minutes from the main station. You have the place to yourself. Well, good news and bad news. I recognise the square. This is definitely it. I do remember it from 10 years ago. Unfortunately, it is a construction site and there's no chance of getting any beer glasses here today. Void of tourists, void of people. That might be my last ever chance to ride a Boeing 747. So there I am studying the menu. Wiener Schnitzel with Pommes frites, 24 Swiss francs, that's about 21, 22 pounds. If you want to eat like a tourist, you pay like a tourist. But the guy thought I was ordering a beer and I ended up with one. And I thought that would be rude to hand it back after he'd poured it. Oh, hi. Well guys, we've done a full loop around the town of Interlaken. We're back to where we started. Hope you enjoyed that little walking tour, and I'll see you next time.